Hi, welcome to For Flow with Chloe, where I have got a Scorpio full moon class for you. We are working towards the Scorpion forearm throughout the class. So really warming up the shoulders, the lower back, the wrists and the abdominals. So if you have injuries in those areas, you might want to skip this class out. Do recommend having a block. Maybe a strap, definitely a door or a wall for getting into those inversions. This is a class aimed at those who are working towards it, more than those that you can already just float up into the pose. Congratulations, you. The whole class is very Scorpio themed, as it's working towards that Scorpio pose. I've also thrown in fallen angel pose because under this full moon we also have black Lilith in Scorpio, dark feminine energies, rebellion. So fallen angel seems appropriate. And so some of the warm up is targeted towards that as well. We also have a lot of eagle pose in there because the Scorpion transforms into the eagle to get that higher consciousness vantage point, then has a further transformation into the phoenix. Kaboom, fiery. Scorpio, very transformational sign. So hopefully a very transformational class, and one that is going to really heat you up, strengthen, stretch and invert you. Maybe invert your perspective. So let's get on the mat without any further ado. Okay, so coming down onto our backs, spreading the arms out, keeping the knees bent for now. Just going to raise one leg up, give your ankle a nice roll rotation to start off with. Open those ankle joints. Take your hands to the back of the thigh and just kick up and down as you rub those muscles in the back of the leg and the hamstring, just adding a bit of heat to it. Want some nice warm hamstrings and good kicking motion today. Leg lifting motion. Lovely. And the other one, rolling the ankle out. And kicking up and down with the flexed foot to engage all the muscles and hamstrings, and just rubbing some heat into that hamstring. Lovely. Now put your arms out and elevate both legs, pointing the toes. Take the legs apart a little and then crossing the legs. So as if you're drawing a circle, big full moon shape. So that Scorpion full moon with your feet, and letting the thighs cross over. So opening, crossing, switching the legs over. And you can see this lovely circle it starts to draw out with the feet. Lovely. Now lay one leg flat and grab hold of the toes. Walk the lying leg down out a little, and then grabbing the toe, see if you can allow your leg to come down and cross over the opposite side of the body. Only come down as far as is comfortable for you. So if your leg only comes to here, if you want a soft bend in that knee as well, if it feels like it's pulling, go for it. Leaving that leg that is lying on the floor out a little so that your leg is extended out, your hip is extended out. Placing the other palm on the floor, see if you can allow it by grabbing the toe to come down the other way. So hand to toe in a lying down position. Lovely. And we're just going to switch that over, so walk that foot out just past or to the corner of the edge of the mat. I'm going to go over the body first, so opposite hand wrapped around the big toe, weighting yourself down with your arms stuck out on the other side. And up we go. Swap the hand over. Again, make sure if you need to put a soft bend in the knee and only go as far as is comfortable there. Lovely. Now we're going to push up onto our knees. So we're elevating the pelvis up. Take your hands up to the sides of your head and lift one leg up to the sky. So you're in a sort of one-legged bridge with one leg elevated. Then take the leg down and cross it under. If you need to tilt the body a little to cross those toes under that leg, then go for it. Lovely. Put that foot down and we're doing it on the other side. Lift the foot up, pointing those toes and threading it under. Kick it up, thread it under. Kick it up, thread it under. Kick it up, thread it under. Lovely. And just lower the pelvis back down. Okay, we're going to lift those legs up again and cross them over once, and then see if you can wrap the ankle around the calf. Just do it on any side because we're going to do it on the opposite side as well. Find your eagle legs. Then lift the arms up, give yourself a big hug and allow the forearms and the backs of the hands to meet as you straighten them out, and see if you can wrap the wrists as well. Arms can stay like so, or wrap the wrists as well. I'm going to lower the legs and arms down and then crunch up. Exhale powerfully as you crunch. Inhale to lower and powerfully exhale as we crunch together. Lovely. And unwind the legs, cross them the other way, unwind the arms, give yourself a hug in the other direction, and cross those arms the opposite way. Same movement, opposite wrap. Really engaging the abdominals here. Lovely, and lower. So until you feel a nice bit of heat in those ab muscles there. I'm going to do a different crunch now. So just lifting those legs up, not completely up in the air, just a little way off the ground that is comfortable for you. And then taking the hands together into your your love gun. And then lift the torso up a little and just cross over as you lower. So lowering and lifting and crossing. Switch and lower, lift and cross. Switch and lower, lift and cross. There we go. Do you like my imaginary pistol fires? Blow your gun and cool off. Should feel a nice bit of heat in your core there. So it's going to lift the knees up and twist them to the side. If your knees don't come all the way down to the ground, you might want your block here. Otherwise, just let the knees flop over, leaving the other arm extended out to the side. You can look up at the ceiling and grab onto the knees if you would like to. You can look down the arm, the opposite arm, if you would like to increase that stretch. You can give your neck a little rotation. Then put both palms down, rotate the knees to center, let them fall the other way. Maybe you're grabbing onto them on the opposite side. Maybe you're twisting and looking down that extended arm in the neck. In your spine twists. Now plant the opposite palm let the knees come back to center, cross the ankles over and give yourself a bit of a hug. Now we're going to lift the torso up and start to rock and roll on that spine until we are all the way up to seated. If that is not happening for you, then just come up to a seat, however you would like to. Just going to stretch the legs out, rotate the wrists round, make some fists and rotate those wrists round. Now we're going to flick the fingers a little, add some heat into those forearms, as we are going to be attempting to balance on our forearms today. So our fingers need to be really heated up for gripping, some strength in there. So really powerful flick with the fingers, and it should warm up all these tendons down the forearms, activating all of what is going to be your stability, your point of contact with the ground, and then we're going to be needing to grip. So that's going to be our platform, both of our forearms, and we're going to be gripping with the hands. I'm going to show you a few other ways as well, and hand grips for coming into the pose. But that's why we're doing this, to wake the forearms up and the fingies. Lovely. When you're done, bend your knees. Maybe put your arms out in front and see if you can lift the legs. If that's a bit like nah, then pop the palms just behind you for a moment until you can get your balance. And see if you can take the hands away. We're going to find that little love gun again and twist and tap in these like Russian twist boat taps. Maybe you want to straighten the legs here, add a little bit more balance to it, or maybe you want to stay here and flow with the breath. Lovely. So our core is nicely ignited. We're going to come up onto the knees, hands under your wrists and shoulders, knees under your hips, in your nice flat back tabletop. And we're just going to give the mat a little squeeze to be like, yeah, hello mat, hello ground. I'm going to be doing a lot of standing on you soon. And just shift the weight past the wrists a little. So shift the shoulders round. Get used to that shifting forward motion. And grip. So as you come around and you take the weight of the shoulders, grip with your fingers and roll back. Shift forward, grip with the fingers and roll back. Your fingers can be like a braking mechanism for you. So get used to that motion. Lovely. Now we're going to do some hip circles. So lifting one knee up and circling it round, seeing if you can tap it on the elbow, or maybe even right up in your shoulder if you've got a lot of flexibility there. Going round, lovely, and switch the direction, maybe straighten the leg out in between. Then change the rotation. Lovely, and then leave the foot elevated and bent, look up, and crunch, bring the knee to the head if you can, kicking with this curved spine in these sort of donkey kicks, pointing the toes here, flow with the breath, exhale as crunch, inhale as kick. Lovely. And that should wake up your spine and your core a little bit more. I'm going to try on the other side. Don't be alarmed if you hear any little pops and clicks. You're just waking up your joints. Obviously, if any pain, maybe think about it. We're going to circle around the other way. Nothing should ever cause you pain. If anything ever causes you pain or strain, excessive strain, back out. Bend that leg, point the toe to the sky, crunching. Lovely, and straighten out the leg and just tap, 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 tap either side of the mat and the other, tap, 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 and let it go down. Crossing the ankles over, gripping with that mat, I'm going to bend the elbows and squeeze the chest with the bicep triceps, gripping with those fingers. So shifting forward, catching in these little chaturanga mini press-ups. Cross the ankles the other way. And do 3 or 4 more. Beautiful. Now coming down into your child's pose. So bringing the head down towards the mat. You can place the head on the fists here as well, but you are going to have to open them out onto the forearms in a moment, because we're then going to scoop the chest down in your Ashtanga Namaskara, your knees, chin, chest. Scooch the chest along the mat and push up into your cobra. Push through the palms, send the hips back. Maybe take the knees wider. Lower the head and the forearms, and then scooch along like a slithering serpent. Lower, I'm going to do 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you're inhaling up into your cobra and exhaling down into your child's pose. Let's do 1 more. Lovely. And end on your hands and knees. We're going to come into some thread the needles. So in your tabletop pose, lifting one arm up to the sky, thread it under that planted hand in that gap there. Bring the head down to the mat. You can keep it straight, or you can plant your ear to the mat and listen to the ground. Tiptoe the fingers towards the edge of the mat with that hand that's propping you up slightly. See if you can lift that hand up and twist it slightly behind. See if you can bend it and see where it comes to on the back. See if you can slide it round and grab onto your hip crease. And this nice twisted needle. Opening those shoulders. Circle that arm down, push back up. I'm going to take it on the other side. 1 thread, 2 threads, 3 threads, and we're going and put the head down and listen to the ground. Tiptoe the fingers to the edge of the mat, getting a nice stretch through the armpit while the opposite shoulder is going the other way. Twisting in both directions, 2 different shoulder stretches in one. Lifting the arm up, bend, see if you can find that bind. Can just be placed on the lower back if you would prefer. And lower that hand down, slide yourself back into your tabletop. Now curl your toes under, point the hips right up to the sky, and slide the hands right out, coming into your puppy pose. So nice spine opener here, and breathe. See if you can open those shoulders, bring your head down to the mat, or maybe you can go deeper, and breathe. Nice spine opener here, and breathe. See if you can open those shoulders, bring your head down to the mat, or maybe you can go deeper, and exhale down until the chest meets the ground. You can stay here, or if you have full puppy, you can straighten the legs out here. Slide your hands back so you're in your knees, chin, chest, and push up into your cobra. Lower down, come onto the forearms, hold on to your opposite elbows, looking forward. I'm going to kick with a flexed foot, kicking, just waking up the backs of those legs. Have a go at pointing as well. See how the sensation differs between flexed foot and pointed toes. Lovely. I'm going to push through the palms up onto the knees, curl the toes back, push the hips up into your down dog, putting a gentle bend into the knees if need be, but then do try to pedal out. See if you can push the heel down to the ground with the bending, walking motion. Lovely. I'm going to kick up. I'm kicking up with my left leg and bend the knee, opening that hip, looking under the left armpit. Then step that foot forward if you need to grab the ankle and step it forward like so. Feel free. You might want some blocks here as well. Bend that knee, stacking it over the ankle. Coming up onto your blocks here if you need to in your lunge shape. Otherwise, propping yourself up on fingertips. And then we're going to point the toes up to the sky, straightening that leg out, coming into our half Hanuman Asana. I'm going to flow here. Inhale into your lunge, exhale into your Hanuman. And ending in a lunge, I'm going to come up, point the arms out in front, swim the arms behind, bend the right arm across the waist and start working it up the back until it is pointing up towards your head, back of the hand against the spine, then reach up with the other arm. And see if you can reach behind and grab the other arm. If this isn't accessible, you can get a length of fabric and grab each end of a piece of fabric or your clothing to bridge that gap. Opening these shoulders some more here. Lovely. Release. Just going to move those blocks out of the way. So walk your foot out a little to the outer edge of the mat. And then angle the toes, so just shove them outwards. So the knee and the hip are like rotated outwards. And drop in here into a lizard shape. We're going to look over the shoulder and then give a little pulse. Just kind of opening that hip. Put the hand on the knee, grab hold of that knee and look over the shoulder more and twist. See if you can kick that foot up here and grab it, like a little tail. And then see if you can pull it towards the glute. Straightening and bending that arm, levering that leg and foot towards the butt. Lovely, and lower that foot down and then lower the forearms down, hold hands with yourself, making a bit of a fist, and see if you can lower the head onto the fists here in your low lizard. You can also have a block here and hold on to this. Lovely. Place the palms down, squeeze the ground, and step the back foot to meet the other one, pushing up into your plank. Go down, down, hold hands with yourself again in your forearm plank. And while we are here, we're going to drop into the shoulders. So let your body sort of sink into the sockets of the shoulders, and then push up, engage the core, push up and away. So we're just protracting, pushing, retracting. So just switching on those shoulders and feeling for that motion of when you drop and when you push up. Lovely. I'm going to come down onto the knees for a moment. Just give those arms a little break. Then push up back into your Adho Mukha Savasana. Have a little pedal here again. Kick the leg up, the other opposite legs to the right leg. Open that hip out with that scorpion tail. And send the foot to the front of the mat, dropping back into that lunge. And we're going to flow back through that Hanuman Nasana lunge sequence. Inhale in your lunge, exhale in half Hanuman. Flowing with sinking your movement and breathing. Why yoga is so calming on the nervous system. Syncing your movements and breathing. Excellent for releasing trauma and detoxing. Beautiful. Now drop back into your lunge, coming up. Hold it there. Swim the arms behind. Bend the left arm. Work it up towards, pointing towards the head. Reach up and over and try and interlock those hands. Juicy stretch for the shoulders. Making sure your lunge is nice and wide and dropping down into that pelvis. So you can be up here, but down here is going to really help open that pelvic area. And if you're doing your lizards, you really want to be in a long lunge. Taking those hands back down, shuffle, walk that foot to the edge of the mat, push the toes out to open that hip, put that hand on that knee ball. And look over the shoulder. Have a little pulse. Looking right over that shoulder, twisting. See if you can kick up, grabbing your little scorpion tail again. Sting, sting, and pull that foot towards the glute in your lizard lunge. It's highly reptilian. I think actually a scorpion is a arachnid of some sort, though, isn't it? Some sort of land scorpion. Land lobster, I mean. Lovely. And lower it down and come down onto the forearms and find that fist and lower the head down. Trying to push up through the shoulders, but allow the head to connect. Lovely. And we're going to step the foot back into our plank, and this time chaturanga down. So like in his little chaturanga push-ups, but with our straight leg. And push up into your up dog, so up on the backs of the feet. Lovely. And roll back, Push up into your Devaduuta. Take a few breaths, and then I like to come up onto the fingertips here, bend the knees and hop to the front of the mat. You can also tiptoe or get there however you would like. So in your halfway lift, take a few breaths, and we're going to fold all the way forward. You might want your blocks here to raise the ground up. Lovely. If you want to go deeper into those hammies, and you're able to, grab opposite elbows and hug the legs. Lovely. And we're going to rise all the way up to standing. And just let that blood sink back down through the body. Standing nice and strong in your mountain. Lifting the arms up overhead. Squeeze the glutes, really ground through the feet. Switch on those legs. Little mini back bend. Lovely. Lower the arms down, and we're going to come into that halfway lift. Remembering if you want some blocks here to raise the ground up. And from here, we're going to take the right leg and just kick, 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 kick. Lovely. And then put some soft bends into the knee. See if you can lift the hands up off the mat and start to kick that leg back behind you. Try and make one long line through the body and float the arms. Then soft bend in the knee. Come up into your H stance, hand at heart center. If you need to drop the palms and segment that in any way and do it in steps, feel free to. Cross that standing leg over the other into your eagle legs and wrap the arms. Pull the shoulders up. Lovely. Anytime you need to come out or embrace any wobbles, and step the foot behind, coming into your warrior. So back foot is planted and clocked outward to about 2:10 on the back right leg. And we're going to fold forward with those eagle arms, hovering the torso downward, but not resting the weight on that thigh. Coming up, stepping forward, release. Exhale, standing in your mountain, making sure your feet are at a comfortable distance apart here. And we're going to go for that mini back bend again. Engage the glutes. And come all the way up. I'm going to fold into that halfway lift. This time kicking the left leg, working on the left leg. Kick, kick, kick. We are going to need to kick up in our scorpion, and so it's going to open the back hamstrings, and then floating the arms up, kicking that leg behind, trying to imagine you're a flat line, and fly. And then gently, embracing any wobbles, come into your H stand. If you need to put the foot down in between those steps, feel free. Cross the leg over and try and remember which way you went with the arms last time. Do the opposite now. Pull the arms up. Unwrap the leg, shoot it back into your warrior legs. Keeping the arms as they are. If you need to break that down to steps and rewrap the arms in a warrior, feel free to do so. Folding forward. And power back up. Step it forward. Unwind the arms. Are we warm yet? Take a few breaths. Lovely. Arms up. Mini back bend. Folding all the way, hinging at the hips. Trying to kiss those knees in our deep forward fold. Soft bend into the knees. Step, step back into your plank. Bend the elbows. Chaturanga down. Push up into your cobra or up dog. Bend the knees, bring them down to the mat and lower everything down. Bring the head down into your child's pose. At any point, if you need to take a rest, coming to a down dog or a child's pose is a good place to be. Or if you wanted to be in an upright seated staff pose, also a good place to rest. And come up to a seat. Grab some hydration if need be. It's a hot day here today. Not that I'm complaining, but I am in all black lycra to honour the Scorpion darkness. But it's hot. Okay, come down onto the forearms. Scooch the chest along, pushing up into your cobra. Come up to your down dog. Shift the weight forward into your Vrschikasana, your plank. And we're going to try and shift one hand a little bit closer to center. And then tap the chest, bring the other palm down, tap the chest. Bring it to the heart space. Bring that grounding from the ground up to the heart space. Strong in the heart. You might feel a little bit of a shift in each hip. Try and really tense the core and the glutes so that the twist is less. Trying to stay strong. Lovely. Now roll onto the side. Side plank, stacking those feet on top of each other. Bend the knee. Send it behind. Permission to stay here or in your side plank. Otherwise, if you have a wild thing, push up through the hips, rotating that wrist and bringing the other arm overhead. Look down at the ground, lift the foot and catch yourself back in your plank. Breathe. On to the other side. Side plank. Lift the knee. Push through the foot, push the hips up, arm behind, wild thing, look at the ground, send it back round. Beautiful. Lower the knees, knees, chin, chest. Kick a leg up, kick a leg up, kick a leg up, kick a leg up. Beautiful. Pull forward, back, walk the hands round, stick your leg out. So up on one knee, other extended, arm up overhead. In your gate, lower the arm, swing round, toes point up to the sky maybe. Lower and sweep, lower and sweep, lower and sweep, lower. Plant the hands, shift onto the other knee, extend the other leg, sweep and lower, sweep other way and lower. swivel all the way around, coming into your Hanuman. Have a little fold, slide the leg back, stick the other out, have a little fold, and take it back. Come on to your knees in your hero pose. Curl the toes back here. I'm going to come up. See if you can reach the heel behind you. If not, pop a block somewhere where you can reach back to. I'm going to lift one arm up overhead as we push the hips forward, pulling up through the trunk, pushing the chest up, lifting the arm, lower it down, switch your block, or grab you at the heel and dance through your camel. So lowering the butt down and sweeping the arm up, alternately making sure you're really pushing up through that chest and pushing through those hips. You can either come down and push it up through the hips into your camel, or maybe you're on your blocks here. Like so. Or you can dance your camel arm round and grab the other ankle and push forward. Maybe hang the head back. Maybe come down to the backs of the feet. You can either lift the head and lower, or you can swoop the arms up and over, above the head and down. Have a little play around in your camel. Breathe. Okay, and now we're going to attempt to come more towards our scorpion pose. The next thing we're going to do is our dolphin push-ups. So come onto the forearms and make a fist with the hands. You might want to do it parallel, so you can practice that finger gripping. So you could do it in two different ways, with the hands out of head and parallel, about an inch gap between your thumbs, gripping through the fingers, and push the hips up into your dolphin, looking down between the elbows. You can also have your clasped fists here. I like this one because I like to point my thumbs up on the tiptoes, pointing those hips up, and then shift forward, because I like to give my thumbs a kiss. Exhale forward, inhale back. So you could be doing this here. Or here. Anytime you want to come down into a child's pose and rest, feel free. Maybe you want to open the hips out and go into a prayer to stretch out those triceps. Beautiful. I'm going to come back into that dolphin, but we're going to do some leg lifts and kick-ups. So pushing up into your dolphin and lift the legs. See if you can lift and kick and hop up. See if you can float. Maybe you're just practicing lifting and seeing how high you can lift those legs, but at a point they naturally want to hover. Making sure you're finding that protracted shoulder, so we're practicing that in that plank when we're pushing the shoulders up. Make sure you've got that going on and you're not sunk and trying to hop up, because it's not going to happen like that. Really squeezing the fists together or really gripping the mat. So have a little play around with that and see if you can get a little hover. and hydrate as needed, obviously. And this is where we start to need the door, maybe, for some confidence building. There are the two methods I showed you with the hands are the two ways you can place your shoulders and hands to come into your scorpion. Forearm, so like this or like this. The last one is like this. Some people like to do a prayer and squeeze the hands together. That one doesn't really work for me, but you can try it because it's a method some people use that it works for. Some people like to have the thumbs touching and angle their elbows in a little more and grip the mat. And so you can start playing with maybe kicking up to the door. But if you want to ever do it away from the door, just bear in mind that it can be a crutch and a bit of a safety net that is hard to let go of. So push up, lift a leg, and practice kicking up. And let the toes touch the door. Then you can start to bend the knees and walk down. Really push through the shoulders and see if you can balance here. And lower down. So that's one way of coming into it. You can also use the door the other way. So the first pose to get the legs up in the air initially really is your Pincha Mayurasana, and that's meant to be more straight. I'm not so great at that because I have a bit of a banana back. So my body likes to go over into the scorpion shape, C shape more. You can spin yourself around and do our L stands. So making sure you have enough room behind you to make this sort of L shape. Okay, so finding your L and then lifting away, like so, and floating the legs up. I don't really like that one, but some people do like that one. And it's a good way to sort of come up into your more of your Pincha Mayurasana and be straight. But then you would also have to come over. So playing with that balance and finding where your point of balance is. Something I quite like is the block between the hands. It gives me something to focus on and look at on the ground while I start to position myself. And it also means your hands can't move out of this position. So you get these L shapes with your hands and rest them either side of your block. So really gripping through that mat. Finding your sort of dolphin pose. And then kicking up, holding it, grip with the fingers, bend the knees, look forward and curl in and float back down into your dolphin. If you like, come down onto your knees at any point, take them wider, plant the head. Maybe have a little walk from side to side. And then have another little go when you are ready. And then obviously you can practice coming away from the door as well. and practicing those different hand positions. So you can have your hands clasped in this fist shape, so interlacing and then popping up. Okay, so maybe you only get up into your Asana, maybe you catch that balance and float the legs over, okay? There is another way. Some people like to use a strap. I'm not a fan of this one for me either. But you tie a strap around the forearms so that the forearms can't travel out beyond a certain point, and make sure it's not going to come apart and kicking up like so, and then coming into your slow bend and C shape. The other pose I was going to go through today as well is we'll have a little stretch it out, arm up and over, arm up and over, coming through those gate swings again. Just stretch and expand a little, and we'll go the other side. Lovely. But as we've done a lot of kind of twisting motion and pushing up on the forearms, we can try going into our side crow, then our fallen angel. So you can plant your palms and sit in a little squat pose with your knees next to your elbows, and see if you can get that to make contact, and then grip. I have to move back a little bit so my head ends up on my mat. Grip through the palms and see if you can hover in your side crow. This is a fantastic place to be. You can also then bring your head down to the ground and push the legs up, pointing the toes, bending one knee onto the elbow while the other foot kicks up to the sky, and lower down, push up through that arm. Hopping to the other side, and see if you can get that side crow first. So coming up onto the elbows, planting the head and lifting the legs. Bend the knees and lever yourself back. And that is how you do your fallen angel. And with all the black moon Lilith energy surrounding this full moon Scorpio, we have Lilith in Scorpio as well. We have some super rebellious female energy going on. So fallen angel. And we're going to come into our little cool down from all those poses now. So the first thing, may come to cross leg, or you can have your feet out in front of you, up to you. Just get yourself in a comfortable seat, nice and tall, and then put your hand out like as if you're a royal. Kiss my ring. Imagine someone's bowing down, kiss my ring. Scorpio likes a bit of power. And then pull back on the fingers. So we're pushing that wrist the opposite way. So bending those wrists the opposite way to what we've been putting the weight on them at this angle. Then do it again, kiss my ring on the other side, pull back. So feeling that nice stretch through that wrist. Give them a little roll, maybe do some jazz hands, maybe do some disco rolls. So bringing your hands, back to your hands, and just roll. Do, 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 do. Having a little party if you manage to get any way towards any of these inverted poses, have a little celebration with disco wrists. Okay, and shake them out. Then hands on knees, take your head to the side. Take one hand to the opposite side of the head. And then angle down, like look towards your armpit. Look up to the sky. Look to your armpit. Look to the sky. Other side. So cock your head to the side. Take the opposite hand to the opposite ear. Look down the armpit. Look up to the sky. Down to the armpit. Look to the sky. So we've done some neck cricking. Take your hands to the back of the head. Say no, 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 no more. Yes, yes, but I'm very good at it. And lower your hands down. And you shoot the legs out in front of us, nice and straight. Bend one knee, cross it over the straight leg. Take your hand behind the sit bones, lift your arm up to the sky. Bend the elbow, twist it onto that knee, look over the shoulder. In your half Lord of the Fish. Lovely. Uncross that leg, bring the foot to the inner thigh, let the knee flop open, arms up, and fold as far as it's comfortable for you without punching. Imagining that invisible cord pulling you through the head. All the way up, and we're going to cross the opposite leg over. Swim that arm behind, look up, look that way, twisting. Arm up, hook it onto the knee, looking over the shoulder. Point those toes up to the sky. Lovely, unravel. Foot to inner thigh, flop knee open, arms up, straight, hinge at the hip until it's comfortable. You can stop here, 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 anywhere, or here. And come up. And we're going to roll down onto our backs. Not fully done yet. You're like, no, no more. But you know, we've done some good inversions today. So we're going to first lift the legs up to the sky. Put the soles of the feet up to the sky. Rotate those ankles out because we did some balancing on one leg. And now we're going to push through the palms and see if we can lift those hips up. So lift them, grab them. See if you can push them up into your shoulder stand. Squeeze the glutes, point the toes, and then start to hinge. Send the toes behind into your plow. Maybe you want to make a fist here. And extend the arms out. Just bending and straightening that neck and spine in the opposite direction in your plow. If you're super comfy here, you can bring your knees down into your ear squeeze. If you're like, I hate this, bring your hands, I'm sorry if you hate it, bring your hands to your hips, bend the knees, cross the ankles, give yourself a hug, bring the head in, have a little rock. Massage your spine and lower down. I'm going to bring everything down to the mat. Make sure the shoulders are sinking. Maybe you want to bring your face, your palms to the sky in gratitude, in reception of the gift. Let the feet flop open and say, hey, I showed up for myself. I tried my Scorpion. I worked hard. Maybe you balanced. Maybe you managed to kick up. maybe you just had a serious workout on those shoulders. So this class is great for building the skills and strength towards those two poses, even if you didn't get up into them today. If you keep working through the poses and sequences in the class, then hopefully you will eventually have the motions to set you towards your scorpion forearm. I invite you to bring your hands to heart center. Big inhale. Big loud exhale. I'm going to roll on to my side and come up. You can stay there for as long as you like, recovering. And I would like to thank you for joining me in this Scorpion full moon forearm stand. Thank you for watching For Flow with Chloe. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. And thank you for watching. Mwah. Bye.